Now we're building out the operational processes to make it so that the success becomes repeatable no matter where we go. So it's not just relying on people, it's relying on process. And then you put great people or even ordinary people into these processes and allows them to become great at their job. You know you have a brand that's ready to grow when the average person can be very highly successful in it.
You're listening to Stories from the Top, an inside guide to better business development. So we're back with Tom and Morgan from Spread Bagelry. One more time, if you guys want to just give us a quick intro.
Yes, back again here, and CEO of Spread Bagelry, Tom Selementi. Been there for about a year. Spread Bagelry, if you don't know, is wood-fired bagels, the premium operator in the bagel space, and the home of the Standard, which is the best bacon, egg, and cheese in the business.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Morgan Mullen. I'm the director of marketing for Spread Bagelry. Been here for 3 months, but I'm ready to just propel this brand forward. So I'm really happy to be here.
Excellent. Well, this last episode we're doing for this series is kind of talking about the operations and business. One thing, every CEO kind of has their own specialty. Some are finance guys, some are sales guys, some are marketing. Seems like operations is your lane. So in Spread, you kind of came in with a mission to scale the restaurant out into multiple locations while still keeping it all privately owned. Give us a little overview of the assignment you were given as the operational CEO coming into Spread.
Yeah, no, that's right. So that what you mentioned there, which is grow the brand to that many locations, I did not have that in my head at all when I first came on. Right, the first thing in my head was, let's get some root cause analysis done on some of the things that are plaguing the company right now. And when I came on, where we were at was back-to-back years of same-store sales decline, right? So what that meant is that same location, the year before on that same exact day, was doing more business than they are now for 2 straight years, right? So that's when you look at a public brand, Starbucks, Chipotle, McDonald's, the first thing they report on is same-store sales. That happens early in the call, and then the stock market reacts just to that, right? That's the only thing they react to. Same-store sales are up or down. If they're down, stock price crashes. If they're up more than what they projected, then the market reacts positively to that. And there's good reason for that, because that is what tells you about the health of the business. So we needed to figure out why same-store sales were down, right? And one of the first things we kind of uncovered was, yes, guest satisfaction scores, public reputation, as you would put it, Google, what Google says. When you want to go to a new place or you go to a new town, what do?
Google it.
You Google, right? You Google food near me. What do you like to Google? You know?
Yeah.
Food near me. What is it?
Yeah, usually food near me.
Yeah, food near
exactly
me, or
restaurants near
me.
Restaurants
near me.
Breakfast,
cool
lunch.
brunch or breakfast spots. Best breakfast spots.
I actually
in
search
town.
on TikTok for my food spots.
I search on Apple Maps a lot of times.
Yeah,
or Apple Maps, right?
Yeah.
And the way that they'll rate things is by your public reputation score, right? Which is how people are rating you. And we were lower in there. We were in a place where it was tough to be competitive. So people were viewing Spread as the food was good, but the product took too long. Inconsistency in execution. They forgot something in my order. They forgot to add bacon to my sandwich. All of those things. Why? Why is this happening? And we spent a lot of time in restaurants trying to understand it, and we also spent a lot of time in the room together as a group trying to root cause. Ask why multiple times, right? Because if you ask why once, you might get a symptom of the cause, right? You're not going to get to the bottom of it, right? And the other thing that was kind of plaguing us was everybody loved to go to us on the weekend, but during the week we were very, very slow. Very, very slow, right? So they leaned into that as a brand Spread. They said, we're the weekend place. We're the best. We're who you come to on the weekend. We don't really have that much business during the week. It's too indulgent. I said, we have to look away from that, all right? Because guess who's busy on the weekend? Any restaurants that you go to that are not busy on the weekend? You guys?
No.
No.
They're all
Yeah.
You know what happens on the weekend? Everybody's busy because everybody's out and about. So I said, that doesn't tell you that you're successful. It doesn't tell you that's where your business is. It's just everybody's out and about. So everybody's busy. So you have to grow your business Monday through Friday. One of the earliest levers we pulled was to open at 6 a.m. in every location. We were a 7 a.m. business. 7 a.m. really doesn't get going until 7:30, right? I'm at work by that time. A lot of people are at work by that time. If we're a breakfast brand, you can't miss breakfast.
No, you're right.
Right? You missed half the world's breakfast. Open at 7 o'clock, or maybe if someone's a couple minutes late, you don't unlock the door till 7:30.
Yeah.
Half the world has already eaten breakfast. Half of the kids are at school already. You know what I mean? In my hometown, the bagel shop opens at 5:30 because some parents like to get their kids a bagel for breakfast or to bring to school with them, or some of the high school kids like to stop there before. We needed to be in that option. We've seen sales growth not just from 6 to 7, but also in the 7 to 8 hour because we've opened earlier, right? So that was a huge lever that we pulled. It was hard on the operation. It means our bakers had to show up at 3:34 in the morning, but we did it. We made it happen. It's been one of the best decisions that we've made. We've streamlined the menu so that there's less customization. What does that mean? That does not sound very like a sexy solution, right? Because it's not, right? People go in and you have this build your own option, and yes, you can build your own sandwich, and you can still do that under the way that we do it. But the way that we had it was, the standard was a bacon, egg, and cheese. There's also a sausage, egg, and cheese. There's also a pork roll, egg, and cheese, right? Any of those things are called the standards, anything with egg and cheese. So we've changed the menu so that the standard is what most people order, the bacon, egg, and cheese. And the sausage, egg, and cheese is now its own sandwich. So now if a cook gets a order for a standard, they know what to make. It's just bacon, egg, and cheese. They don't have to read what's on that standard. And that sounds crazy, but that's like 15 seconds per person. Right? That adds up over the course of a day, right? If you're selling 150 of those, right? It slows you down. So we're making those little decisions to get to the bottom of why we were a little slow and not having, great guest satisfaction scores, public reputation scores, and we've slowly chipped away at them. And now what we're seeing is we're consistently over 4.0 on public reputation, trending towards 4.2. We have a system in-house to monitor how our guests are giving us feedback, and it's giving us more feedback than we've ever had. And we're uncovering new things that we need to focus on. So we're constantly in the room discussing those things.
Yeah.
What is the system you have for gathering feedback?
It's called Ovation, and it's great, right? So you can scan a QR code if you're in the restaurant, and if you order online, it automatically sends you feedback loop, and it gives us a lot of feedback. So public reputation, we get maybe 30 of those a week. That only tells you so much, right? So if you're reacting as a CEO, I'm reacting to what 30 people said, a lot of them maybe the worst 5 or 6 reactions, it can really steer you off course from time to time, because that's such a minute number of your total transactions. If my total transactions are probably in the 50,000 a week range, I can't react to what 6 people said, right? But now if I'm getting a lot more feedback and I'm getting 200 of those in a week, that's a bigger percentage, and it's going to tell me more, and I can now, we as a team can formulate plans to go and attack those things. So Ovation's been fantastic.
So what is your operational strategy to the scaling side of things? You said that wasn't at first your assignment. You kind of organized and streamlined and kind of fixed some old problems. When did that become the mission, and kind of what's your plan for that?
So I'd say that we've been ahead of schedule on solving the operational issues in the restaurant, and what has told us that is same-store sales have really bounced, right? So now we're consistently in the double-digit comps, means we're up 10% or more in most locations, most days of the week, most weeks of the year, right? So what that tells you is there's a lot more demand, right? You're doing things better. And it happens fast in breakfast brands because people try you a little bit more often, and they're willing to forgive you a little bit more often, more quickly than if you go spend $300 at dinner.
You're right.
right? You go spend $300 at dinner and it's not great, you're probably not going back for at least a year.
Right.
You know, maybe longer if it's not hasn't been solved, maybe ever. But if you go spend $10 on a bagel sandwich and it's not great, you're going to be a little annoyed. You may not go for a week or two, but then you're going to come back. And then what we found is as people have come back, we've won them back more quickly, and it's growth. So now we're building out the operational processes to make it so that the success becomes repeatable no matter where we go. Right? So it's not just relying on people, it's relying on process. And then you put great people or even ordinary people into these processes and allows them to become great at their job. And that's what we want to do. You know, you have a brand that's ready to grow when the average person can be very highly successful in it. And that's what we're hoping to be. And we're on our way to that.
So you guys are mainly sticking to the East Coast for now with your expansion. Is it as simple as just pick the 17 best little towns that can support your guys' pricing and structure, or is it a little more strategic than that with your process for selecting real estate and things like that?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, for sure. On our end, logistically, we've got to be able to service it, right? Like, so it's got to, we have a team of people that work for us, and we have logistics out of our commissary where we're making bagels that we need to be able to get to those locations, those new locations, right? So that's part of it. We also know what success looks like and which towns are working and which maybe are not quite at where we expected them to be, and we look for that repeatable signals. And then when we're in a center, it's about the site in the center. You don't want to be in the middle. You want to be more on the edge so that, you know, there's more visibility. So there's a lot of factors at play. There's a lot of analytics that go into it too, with where people's incomes are, and we also look at the competitors in the space, maybe not in bagel, but in the same comp set for premium operators in their areas that we would go follow as well.
Yeah, I feel like every shopping center that Spread is in, like when I first joined the brand and visited the stores, I was so excited because they're all in really nice areas with really nice shops around there too. So
we like luxury retail to be close by. It's not just food, you know. So like it's got to be anchored by a store that drives people to go to it more than once a week, right? So like a supermarket is a good anchor, whereas maybe Costco is not a good anchor because you only go maybe once a month to it.
That's true.
Right?
So yeah, are there any specific systems you guys have put in to track growth and like KPIs and things like that for the businesses as you're going to start scaling? Like, what is the process for that you have?
So once we're in a location, the KPI, and we've only built one location, right? So we're in the process. We're filling the pipeline right now, right? But the way that we're going to ensure that it's successful is how we support it and what we measure when we're in there. And it is the same things: public reputation, ticket times, how fast are we, what are our guests saying about us. There aren't external metrics. There's so many things internal that you can control to ensure that the guest experience is great and people will come back, right? So going into it, once you sign on the dotted line and you start building, now it's just about how you execute, how you support it. So we just opened in Atlanta, in Buckhead, right? And we're up here in Philly. Most of our team is up here in Philly. So we have to be on planes often. We were down there at the site often. And I'd like to say, on that first day that we opened, I was on the line ensuring that food is coming out quickly, because that was the most important thing. That was the most important place for me to be. And it was at times when we were okay, then I jumped out and spoke to guests, and we're doing fantastic there, and we're happy to be in Atlanta.
So is there kind of a transition from where you're proactively planning all these things and you plant the new store, and then does it go into kind of a reactive mode, like let's see what happens?
Well, there's never what happens, right? It's always we want to ensure what happens, right? So if you open a new location, you want to control the narrative, right? You don't want to just open the doors and not just see what happens, but see how the team does, right? You got to have hand holding there. So we make sure our experts are in place and at every station and ensuring that the experience is fantastic. It's just about every guest's experience when they walk in the door, you know?
So what piece of advice would you give to somebody who wants to improve their business?
Yeah. Listen to what your guests are talking about, right? They're telling you something. Right? And I'd also look at your metrics this year versus last year. And are you doing just as well in the same place, right? So a lot of times companies will mask their execution by just growing, hyper-focus on growth, new. But of those guests, how many are coming back, right? And a lot of companies that are growing at a fast clip, that they see is there's a drop off after the second or third time through. And just ask yourself why that's happening, right? One of the best metrics that we've seen at Spread is we have one of the highest repeat rates at DoorDash and Uber Eats, right? So people that order from us are coming back more than 50% of the time when their averages are in the 30% range.
Yeah, most of our customers are frequent. So there's new, occasional, and frequent is the highest ranking category.
And we have that. And now, yes, we're in the breakfast space, and maybe there's a little bit less competition there, but you still have to be great. You have to be great at execution. So monitor your execution. Anything that you can track internally that's telling you how your team is doing is the best thing that you can do. And keep growing that cohort, meaning making them better at their jobs.
Mm-hmm. I have a piece of advice as a marketer, and that is to follow your instincts, because your gut is usually always right and you shouldn't ignore it. Every time I followed my instincts, I was always successful. So
excellent. Well, thank you guys both again for coming in. This has been super fun, enlightening, and wish you guys all the best with the expansions. We'll be eagerly watching to see how things go. So thank you both again for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you, and hope to see you guys at Spread sometime soon.
We'll be back.
King of Prussia. Is that your store too, King of Prussia?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll see you guys there.
Stories from the Top is your guide to successful business development. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or find Edge of Cinema on YouTube. Stories from the Top is an Edge of Cinema production, hosted by Matthew Skura and Jeremy Schmidt. To learn more or get in touch, visit edgeofcinema.com/podcast.